Hello, everyone, and welcome to Voices of the Goddess podcast, where we empower, inspire, and uplift women to be the goddesses they were meant to be. I'm Julietta, your co-host, otherwise known as the Magical PT, and I have a private physical therapy practice here in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, where I help mostly women, but men and kids also, occasionally an animal here and there, find balance in their body, mind, and spirit. Traditionally as PTs, we really focus on the musculoskeletal system, but our thoughts and our emotions play a huge role in the well-being of our bodies as well. So I help people find balance in all of that. And in addition to doing this podcast, I'm also an artist. I paint, I create jewelry and malas with crystals, healing stones. And that's enough about me. How about my co-host, Allison?
Hello, my name is Allison Mancini, and I am also normally I'm in Fort Lauderdale area. Right now I happen to be in Texas visiting my daughter at college, and it's freezing here. It's like 28. I haven't even checked lately. It just feels like it keeps getting colder. Actually, there could potentially be snow flurries. I'm slightly excited about that because I haven't seen snow flurries in a really long time. But I am a mom to two. I have a 25-year-old and a 22-year-old. I've been married to my husband for 28 years, and I am a human resources director for the Gold Digger Girl, and where we help women to just show up authentically on social media. And I'm also a functional nutritionist, which is really my love and my passion is helping women be as healthy as they can so that they can do all the amazing things that they want to do. So that's pretty much my story.
It's your story and you're sticking to it.
Sticking to it. And I'm a co-host of this awesome podcast, which, by the way, we hit our 100th episode, which is super exciting.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gone by super fast. Like I can't believe we've done 100 episodes already. And just thinking about all of the super cool women that we've met over this past year doing all these episodes. So
yeah, it's been pretty awesome.
Loving doing this. So what I wanted to talk about before we start this show, I know I've spoken about this on the show before, but everybody's been asking me questions over the past week about the malas that I make and what are they and how do I use them? And so since they're a meditation tool, and we know that's come up as the answer to our second question over and over and over again. Meditation is one of people's one of the top self-care practices that people like, that we talk about on our show. So, but first I'll say, you don't need a mala to meditate. Malas are a traditional meditation tool, and it just fit in really well. How I started making them, I had my own amethyst mala, and I don't remember where I got it or how long I had it, but one day at work here, I was treating someone, I bent over and the mala got caught underneath the corner of the table and it broke, and the beads just went everywhere. And malas have 108 beads because it's considered the most sacred number. So there was 108 amethyst beads all over the floor in my office. And I picked them all up. And at first I was really disappointed. And then I was like, but I can string this back together. It's no big deal. And I just came to find that I really loved stringing the beads together. It's a form of meditation for myself when I'm stringing the beads together. But the reason for the 108 beads, and I got one of my malas right here, 108 is a sacred number. So if you meditate with a mantra that you're repeating, you should repeat it 108 times. But so that you don't have to say, I'll say my mantras, I am love. So I don't have to go, I am love, 1. I am love, 2. You use the beads to keep track of how many times you've said it. And you just move from one bead to the next bead to the next bead. And that gets you at 108 recitings of your mantra. So A lot of people buy them just because they're really pretty. And I picked this one because it's one of my favorite. Like, I feel like it's super pretty because of the beads. It's Amazonite and rose quartz, which rose quartz is the stone of unconditional love. And Amazonite is a really, it's like a multitasking crystal. Um, it's also a heart stone or a heart chakra crystal because it's kind of green, but there's also a bluish to the green, which connects it to the throat chakra. So it's also a great communication chakra. But there's also, like, if you can see, like, that bead's kind of a brown bead, so it's like a grounding stone as well, which usually associate that with root chakra stones, which would be red and black, but the brown stones in here are really earthing and grounding. It's also important in today's times because we're, with all the Wi-Fi and our cellulars, that EMF stuff, the waves that are coming at us. Amazonite is one of the best protectors against that. So you can wear an amethyst, or an amethyst. You can wear a mala as a necklace. You can wear it around once. Some people loop it around, and so it's doubled around their neck. This was something I taught Allison recently. You can wrap it around your wrist and wear it as a bracelet. They're super cool that way. Some people get them to put on their altars. So I don't know how many of our women out there have altars where they put their sacred things, their items that connect them with source. So some people just like them there. So yeah, you can wear it as jewelry. You can use it just for the healing energy from the beads. You can use it to assist you in your meditation, and you can use it as a decoration as well.
I love it. I was very excited when I figured out I could wear them around my wrist because I am not a necklace kind of chick. So I was very happy.
And super exciting news. So I ordered some stuff to make yours. Yay. And it arrived yesterday.
Woo! Awesome. So it'll be ready when I come back in town.
Maybe. If I have time. It takes time to string all these beads together. But
I'm not back for another week. It's all good.
But it'll be ready soon for sure. Okay. So I think it's time to bring on our guest, right?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Hi, Andrea. How are you?
Hello, Julieta. Hello, Allison. I'm well now. Thank you.
Good. So why don't you tell, welcome, and tell our audience a little bit about you and what you do.
I am Andrea Petrut. I'm a Romanian living in Canada, in Toronto, with my 3 children. I have 2 boys and a girl. And with the love of my life, the one I moved here for. And now I am an intuitive life and relationship catalyst, working with women, but I also work with some men from time to time, who allow themselves to go deep and have deep healing and transformation, and who want to be change makers, visionaries, and really want to take their gifts to the fullest.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. How she worded it all and everything.
I know.
I'm like, I love that. Awesome. And I like that you use the word catalyst instead of, so many people call themselves a coach or whatnot, but I love that you use the word catalyst.
That's actually recent, Julieta, because I grappled with how to name what I do. And I asked friends, even recently there was a discussion about mentor, coach, and there was always this thing, I do not have certification, as we know, in terms of coaching. I also am a mentor, but it's people calling me a mentor. I am not naming myself a mentor. I just naturally become one because I love them, and we have a beautiful exchange, and I support them in that way. And one, like the middle way, was put in coaching. What I do is coaching. But now I'm like, but that's not enough for me. I just want something that I really feel that, yes, it's perfectly aligned, and it's me. It's who I am and what I do. And through all these conversations that I have witnessed recently and talking to beautiful, gifted friends like you, I figured out, you know what? Catalyst. This is what I do. This is who I am. I think it's okay. And it starts to resonate with other people too. So thank you for.
Perfect. It's
Yeah,
perfect.
I love it. It's beautiful.
So with that, let's dive into our questions.
Mhm.
And the first one is, what is one book that you wish every goddess would read?
I actually have it with me. It's Self Compassion by Kirsten Neff. And of course, the camera is not working unless I put it to my face. Forget about it.
Yeah.
That's the fun part of having virtual background.
Yeah.
Kirsten Neff. I think I bought the book after I went to her workshop here in Ontario. The thing that really struck me first was her TED talk, where she speaks about the difference between self-esteem and self-compassion. And it was one idea and question I never asked myself: is self-esteem enough, or is there something deeper? And she actually says the self-compassion does not have like almost like the side effects that self-esteem has. And from her workshop, which led me to the book, I understood that um, I was going through overwhelm, and I was in a stage of my life where I forgot about myself. I was not giving myself enough love and support, and I was not fully aware of where my decisions were taking me, which is my body was going down and down. My mind was not clear. I could not stand up. Like there was some things going on that I was dismissing. And she, through her talk and then through her book and through her workshop, really pointed out we need to give love to ourselves. We need to talk to ourselves like we talk to our great friends. When we go to them, we listen and we hug them. We should do the same thing. And at first, the workshop was not enough. I really had to go through the book and then say, yeah, yeah. And I started talking to myself whenever I find myself in very difficult situations where like I almost feel like dying because it's too much, too many challenges, mental, emotional, financial. Everybody wants something from me. Life wants something from me. I always have to do something. I just want to be. I just want to stop. So I stop and see myself inside like she recommends, and I just hug myself. I give myself a bear hug and say, like she says, I know you're in pain. I feel you. I hear you. You are in pain. It's like admitting to yourself that you are suffering, not hide it anymore. Just say it. So that's why I recommend this book, because it reminds us what is really going on with us and reminds us that we are valuable, we are worthy, and we need to take care of ourselves if we want to do the rest.
Yeah.
I like how you said, talk to yourself like you talk to your friends. And that's a tool that I use often in my clinic here. Is when people are talking about themselves, I ask it, would you talk to your friend like that? Would you say those things to your friend? And they're like, no, of course not. And I'm like, well, then you shouldn't talk to yourself like that either. And yeah, we all
Yeah.
definitely need much more.
What was the title of the book again?
Self-compassion, the
Nice.
proven power of being kind to yourself.
Love it.
Yeah,
Adding
and
it to my list.
very, very good one. And for those who have not taken her workshops, and this is something that she doesn't have in that TED talk that you can find on YouTube. She gave an example that really struck me for two reasons. Why? One is that it was about an experience watching a documentary with disabled children in Romanian institutions around 1990s, and when the gates were open and people could come to Romania and democracy started in a way. And the other is that there was a monk who was watching that video, and the experiment was he was hooked at the computer and EEG, I think,
Mhm.
and they were watching what happens to the brain waves. without him doing any practice meditation, anything that he does with his heart and emotions, he just watched. So they watched what the brain was doing. Then he started bringing in compassion. And then things changed in his brain. When they asked him, what did you do? How did you feel the experience before you did something and while you did it? Well, when we do not offer ourselves compassion, what happens is that because people who are empaths, because I'm also an empath, I assume you are too. You feel people, right? So, and as goddesses in general, I assume we do feel very much more than we are very sensitive. So we take in all we see, like we feel the horror in front of our eyes, even if it's on TV and we're not experiencing it firsthand. We take that all in and it's going to affect us negatively. But how he proved it, if you bring, while you're watching, while you're witnessing something, when you bring compassion into your heart, you're actually supporting yourself and you can be with what is while holding yourself so that you feel and you're not affected by what is happening. This was a huge lesson, heartbreaking because it reminded me of the suffering in Romania, and at the same time empowering because it reminded me of a habit that I can develop so that I can help myself in any terrible situation.
Mm. Yeah.
That's a great tool.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for sharing that. Yeah. All right. Our question number 2 is, what is your favorite self-care practice and how does it support you?
The one that I kept from Romania is the beginning part of the training for Shaolin Kung Fu because it implies stretching. So what we do at the beginning is stretching exercises with the whole body. And one is you're moving the blood. 2 is you're opening space for energy, for things to move through you. And um, like on the spot, what happens to me is I become happier. You know, it's almost like a dance for me. I love so much these practices that it's almost like dancing. I would rather do this than dance. Actually, it's easier because I know that in 5 minutes my whole body gets to relax, loosen up, and it gives me that feeling of, yeah, I can do it now, I'm ready for it. And when I did it continuously, and I say that because I'm not doing it continuously, but for 2 years, I kept doing it. And what happened is I developed resilience. My body could stand longer efforts. I could run without feeling exhausted. I could run while feeling I can breathe. And this was fascinating. I love experiments and I love experimenting on myself. Not to the point of killing myself, although I call that too, but I prefer something that really helps me. And I didn't know. Only when I was in my hometown and I was running down the hill, I realized that I'm past 300 meters and my heart is beating the same. My breathing is the same. I feel like I'm 16 years old and I can run. And actually I'm 41, you know? So it was awesome. And I realized that, yes, it's true. If you find something that really helps your whole body, keep at it. And wow, exceptional results.
That's awesome. So our third question, and this can be, sometimes a little challenging, but when you're having just one of those days when it's just, what tool do you pull out of your back pocket to make it all happen?
It happened today before meeting you.
I wondered if that's what you were implying when we talked earlier.
Yes, because my husband is working, my youngest son is at school, my oldest son is at home, and my youngest child, who's a girl, she's 3 years old, she's with me. And I have podcasts, I have to write my book, I'm organizing events, I have all sorts of things that I'm doing for my business, and they need care. And I have to bring all in, interweave all these things in my life. And my heart says, I want to do my things. And then my soul says, yeah, but you have kids. So, and my kids say, mommy, mommy. So it's challenging. And I was almost about to give up to this podcast. Almost about to say, I don't think that my daughter can stand still and let me do this. But here we are. We're doing this and you don't hear her at all. What I did is I gave her something that she likes, by the way. So now she's occupied somewhere else. But in terms of myself, what I did is 2 in 1: gratitude and compassion. I acknowledge that it's hard for me. I acknowledge that it may not work. And I also realized that everything is in perfect timing. And I started being grateful for what I have and what I'm going through. And this allowed me to tune into love, the love I have for myself, and the love for what I do, and just trust that. And I actually prayed also, all actually 3 things. I prayed, please God, just allow this to happen because it's such perfect timing, and they don't have other time for this. I don't have other time for this. So if this is the perfect time for you, God, make it happen, and it's happening. So there you go. I'm again grateful for this. These are the fastest tools that I have found for myself.
Yeah.
Gratitude, and for me, gratitude allows me to feel the love, to receive the love I have for myself and the love coming to me from life. And then if I still need support, I bring compassion and a prayer. Because when I pray, I set the intention and I just give it to God. And whatever comes, I'm going to allow it and I'm going to accept it.
I love that you said that it's just you're letting go control of the situation, right? Because I think that's being major type A personality and just the mom that's always been the one making sure everybody's where they need to be and getting everything done and scheduling it and all that, blah, 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 and just sometimes having to let go of control. And honestly, my husband is supposed to be flying here tomorrow to meet me in Texas to spend the weekend with our daughter, and his flight just got canceled. And if you're doing any flying right now and you're listening to this, you know it's impossible to get a hold of the airlines. And I have been sick to my stomach all morning because she's going to come home from classes. I'm going to have to tell her right now, her dad's not coming until we can figure out how to get him here. He can't even get a hold of anybody. And just listening to you has reminded me that I just need to be grateful that we even have the possibility of being with her, that I'm here, and that it's all going to work out is exactly in the timing that it needs to work out and how it should. So thank you for sharing that, because you have made me feel a lot better.
I'm happy to hear. Everything I do and I find useful for myself is based on my belief and faith that we are all connected. And whether you are there, your son is somewhere stranded, it doesn't matter, because you can feel him, he can feel you. And you're, especially when it comes to lovers or parents or anybody who has a love relationship of any kind, that connection is so deep and so subtle that anything you're thinking of, anything you're feeling, anything you're sending towards that person, they will, like I have goosebumps now. They will feel it. And the more you know each other, the more you can recognize these signs that you give to each other.
Yeah, I agree. All right. Our last question before we wrap things up is, what life experience, and it could be good, bad, but has really just, formed who you are today or kind of put you on the path that you are on right now?
It's when I saw on Skype a man, and around him and around us, I saw light. I was in Romania, he was in Canada. That's the moment when I knew he's the one. And it comes after he said that I'm the perfect one, and I said, nope, you're not, because you don't have those eyes that I envisioned. You don't have blonde hair. You're not as tall as the guy that I envisioned. So no, you're not. But what he did have, and I did not notice the first time, is a checkered shirt. That was really, really similar to what I saw weeks before that in a vision. So I didn't trust myself. I learned after, but yeah. So that was the moment because he became my husband. One of the most magical relationships I've ever had, where physical bodies don't matter. Not that they don't matter, they do very much actually, but it's the connection that goes very, very deep, where the bodies disappear and all it is light. Just me and him, one light, one truth, one heart, one voice.
That's beautiful.
That's why I'm here in Canada. So that's why that is a big thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
What a love story.
It is. I love that.
Now both of you are like, oh.
Yeah, this is awesome. All right. So, just to wrap everything up, if there was one thing that you would want our audience to remember from our time together, what would that be?
Goddess, you are here for a reason, and you know it very well. Just turn your eyes inside you and you will see it. It's the light within you, it's what makes you a goddess. It's that divine self you keep listening to, you keep yearning for, and keep doing what you're doing because you're doing your best and your best is good enough. And every step you're making ahead is actually a step towards us all living together, that life full of peace, harmony, where we respect each other, treat each other with like sovereign beings, and we bring what the world needs, which is what you got.
It's like our running theme so far today, right?
Yes. And I'm just, I'm thinking, Andrea here was uh, kind of a last minute fill in here. And I just feel like it was just divinely orchestrated for you to be here on this episode today. And such beautiful messages that you brought with you. So really appreciate you, Andrea. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you. It's perfect timing, and I love that. I'm even more grateful to see that.
Excellent. Well, first I need to say that this episode was brought to us by Lyrios Massage and Beyond, where they do intuitive healing. And whether you're looking to recharge and replenish or just come in for a tune-up and a little work, Lyrios Massage and Beyond aims to support your body using various methods and modalities of massage, skincare, energy healing, and more. Their unique intuitive fusion of East and West provides both structural and energetic realignment. From sports massage and deep tissue to cupping and hot stones, they work with your unique situation to provide healing and relief. Please visit their calming oasis right here in Paradise, Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And so I want to thank them very much for sponsoring this show. And I can't wait to get in there and get my massage soon. And yeah, want to thank you, Andrea, for joining us. It's been such a pleasure having you on our show. And we want to thank our audience for listening. And if you've liked what you've heard today, please subscribe, like, follow, share, all that good stuff. Comment. We love the comments that we hear, the feedback that we get about our episodes. We'd also love some reviews out there. So if you haven't reviewed our show, we get lots of verbal reviews, but we'd love to have some written reviews too. And what am I missing? Oh, and if you want to get in touch with Andrea or Allison or myself, check the show notes, all of our contacts, social media, websites, all that good stuff are all available in the show notes. So check them out there and get in touch. We'd love to hear from you. And with that, I want to wish everybody a magical day. Bye.